Welcome to today's Trucking Questions and Answers. Hey, my name is Jesse. I'm here with Decker Truck Line, and we had a little bit of technical difficulty, but we are up and rolling and here to answer your questions. This is a live Q&A, so ask your questions, get them answered. The chat is open, so if you put your questions in the chat, I'll answer them. Here at Decker Truck Line, we have refrigerated and flatbed opportunities available. But of course, if you want to know about your specific area, put your zip code in the chat so that I know where you live and I can be a little bit more specific. I can be a lot more specific in what we have available out of your area. If you want to know your rate per mile, also include your years of experience, and I can be even more helpful in availability and description and details and all that good stuff. So welcome to today's Q&A. This is a weekly Q&A. It's noon central, usually. And we go live to answer those questions. So hello, Flatbed Trucker. Hey. All right. So hopefully the connection's good and it's not as bad as it has been today. I'm in Montana. We have a terminal in Montana. We have one in Fort Dodge, Iowa. Our main one is in Fort Dodge, Iowa. And actually we have Sperry and Minneapolis. We have Des Moines. We have one in Hammond, Indiana. And then, of course, we've got a terminal in Bessemer, Alabama. Yeah, my internet is slow. It says it's in excellent condition, but, when you stream it, it gives you the green light, red light, or yellow. And I'm getting green right now, but I can feel everything's super slow in all directions. We've had a ton of storms. I've lost electricity probably 6 times within the last 48 hours. So we will see how well this goes. I don't know if everywhere else has been that way, but I know here in Montana, probably 3,000 plus individuals have lost their power. Did I say internet? Same thing as far as it pertains to this subject, but anyways, bear with me. Hopefully we can answer some of these questions and get them answered. That being said, we've got a lot going on here at Decker. You've seen a lot of restructuring and trying to adapt to really how trucking is becoming, working more with the customers, being more driven to get our miles and freight up for all of our professional drivers here at Decker, and really working hand in hand with each individual. So that being said, if you are currently here with Decker, if you drive for us now, you'll notice that we've been giving you kind of a heads up on some communication that's coming out from Bob Elkins. Bob is our COO here at Decker, and he is reaching out to all of our professional drivers to set up one-on-one conversations. Let's get to know him, get to know what our process is, what our goals are here. And you've seen that we've provided quite a bit of information over the last, I'd say 2 months of, with a lot of these changes that are happening. So that being said, a lot is happening that way. This week, we will be releasing kind of a test group, it is legit, it's a test group of some of our professional drivers, reaching out to them to schedule those one-on-one conversations. That said, if it goes really well, then we'll release it to all of our professional drivers here at Decker. But we want to make sure that this is a prime example, that the tech and everything is going well before we release it to all 700 drivers. We're going to start with a group of about 40 to start with, and make sure that the scheduling works well. Bob is trying to make sure that his availability of receiving those calls and making it easy for you to get them is based off of your availability more so than his. So he's kind of reworking his schedule and his meetings in order to accommodate you guys. So that's when we're sending out this heads up or these scheduling details. Just know that he's working his best to make it easier for you to get your answers. So Flatbed Trucker says, yep, Nevada lost power over the weekend. Yeah, we lost it over the weekend. And then yesterday was Monday, so we lost it 2 times yesterday. Sunday, lost it at home. And what was funny is, it was our first day of school back for the kids yesterday. So of course everybody in our area was like, "Oh, nobody's gonna make it to school on time." No electricity. Thank goodness for generators, right? Good, Riley. How are you doing? Generators, inverters, APUs. Gotta love those, right? Yeah, good to have you, Riley. So, that being said, let's dive in and hopefully you can bear with the buffering of the video and get these questions answered. Uh, Flatbed refrigerated is mostly what we currently have available. Our flatbed is going to be real focused on the Midwest because the majority of the freight is there in the Midwest, especially in the. Let's visualize this, shall we? Let's talk Iowa City. Iowa City is a good area. Mason City, Iowa, Fort Dodge, Iowa, anywhere along that route to Chicago, till Milwaukee, over to Gary, Indiana, down to Indianapolis. Those are all areas that are really strong for us and current availability in our Midwest flatbed. You'll notice that our hiring right now has not expanded because our focus is most definitely on our current drivers and bringing up those miles and home time accommodations for them as well, so that they're seeing a little bit. We want them to see more take home on a week to week basis. Yes, we have our minimum pay, that safety net that we've talked about for the last couple of years, several years now, but we have that in place, of course. But we do want to make sure that that is a safety net and not something that they have to rely on. We want to make sure that it's their weekly pay is well over and beyond that to make sure that they're capitalizing on their efforts. So our focus has been, especially within the last couple of months, as we're kind of restructuring some of these roles, these positions, is to focus on getting building the customer base, building not just customer base, but really specifically for areas and the type of freight that we're looking for, so that our professional drivers can really, I was going to say plaza, but really expand on their miles. And when they need to get home, we're able to get them home when needed. So there aren't surprises. There aren't as many obstacles in their way. We're trying to streamline a lot of it. And huge plus, by the way, in the short amount of time that we have done some of this restructuring and building, we have already increased over 14% in the miles, which is great because we all know that the economy in the last couple of years has thrown a wrench into things, and we want to make sure that we're building. So it's helping us to build back what, thankfully, as a company, a very stable, long-term company, we've been able to build. So huge plus on that. So over about 14, I think it's 14.7, and off the top of my head, of course, I don't even have it, but I do know it's over 14% that we've grown. And that was as of, I think, 2 weeks ago. So we might have even more growth since then. And again, that's on our miles. So Dean says, hello from Lake Mills, Wisconsin, home of the narrowest 4-lane. Really? Oh, fuel lanes. Oh, narrowest fuel lanes. All right, sorry, it was covered. Half of it was covered. I had to move things. Good to have you, Dean. Thanks for joining us. So yes, the miles, of course, have increased. We're looking at more freight. We also want to make sure that we're accommodating you more in getting home when need be. Currently, our home time availability is for our over-the-road flatbed division is home every other weekend. Usually coming home on a Friday night or Saturday morning, coming back out Sunday night or early Monday morning for usually an early Monday morning delivery. That's on the over-the-road division for the flatbed. Now, for our more Midwest flatbed, we're usually able to accommodate the home weekly options. And again, that's a small hiring area that we currently have for our Midwest flatbed. Indianapolis, Chicago, Milwaukee, Iowa City, Beth, Fort Dodge, and what am I missing? Oh, Mason City, Iowa. Those are all going to be current availability, and of course, we're looking for experienced drivers who've got clean driving records. I know that a lot of our criteria is probably more or is stricter probably than others, which is great for maintaining our safety and elite fleet. So if you guys have more questions on that, feel free to ask. We'll be talking more about the criteria and availability as we go along today. And as for our over the road refrigerated is usually out 2 to 3 weeks at a time. So out on the road 2 to 3 weeks at a time, home for usually 4 or 5 days at a time. So that's pretty darn common. In our more regional refrigerated, you're out about 11 days at a time and then home for 3. A lot of that has to do with where you live. If you live in the state of Washington, that's over the road. If you're living in Missoula, Montana, like I said, we've got the terminal here, then yes, you're home every 2 to 3 weeks. Bring the truck to the terminal on your home time if you live in Montana so that we can take care of the maintenance. But if you're in Washington, you're bringing the truck home. If you're in Portland, Oregon, or Seattle, Washington, or Hermiston, Oregon, Salt Lake City, Utah, those are all areas that you'd be bringing the truck home with you on your home time. We do have some availability out of Las Vegas. I think we have a position there. Reno, nope, I think that one's full. But Vegas we do. Salt Lake City we do. Denver, Colorado, we've got our over-the-road refrigerated there. We also have more of a regional, which can get you home about every 11 days. And again, boosting that freight up in the last couple of months. We'll continue to work on that. We've got a great team that's working with our customers to build those freight lanes. And it's just different. It is a different type of freight because more customers nationwide have kind of gone to more warehousing instead of truckload, so that there's a little bit different there in the type of freight that's being hauled. But I know a lot of you guys have already noticed that, and so that's why we've had these new techniques, I should say. But we love to see the improvement on that. And we do appreciate the suggestions as they come in. Dean, I do need to get back to you on that one as well. Thank you for the most recent. Then refrigerated, I was trying to think of for the refrigerated home time, more regional is about 11 days out and then 3 days home as of right now. Now we've got 6 months of experience we can work with, and you can go straight into, after orientation, about a 3-day orientation, you'd be going into your truck. Most of our trucks are the 579 Peterbilts. Now we have some 860 Volvos, 780 Volvos, and a few Freightliner Cascadia Evolutions for the refrigerated side. But most of them are the 579 Pete. So that's odds are that's what you would see. And again, they're newer model. They're very well maintained, and of course they come with a ton of amenities: APU and refrigerator, TVs, microwaves, CB units. We do have safety features in the truck, including an inward and outward facing event recorder, which lane departure, speed gauge, following distance, all of that is kind of encompassed in that safety feature. The inward one, when you turn the truck on, the inward event recorder or camera, that will turn off immediately, whereas the outward one will stay on for 4 hours. So if you're in a parking area and people are still moving around, you still have some of that visual protection. And then of course, with additional amenities in the truck, we do have the TransFlow. We have the TransFlow app in there on the Geo tablet. We have I'm trying to think of what all of the different amenities, quite a bit. They are double bunk trucks, excuse me. And we have Wi-Fi available in our trucks through the TV. So we have the Epic View Plus now. We've changed from Epic View Satellite to Epic View Plus, which does have a better streaming platform. If you guys are having issues with your streaming, please reach out to Epic Viewers. DirecTV is actually the customer service. When you call customer service, that's actually who you'll be getting. But they will work with you to help improve any issues. And of course, our shop can work on any of the hardware that we need to fix if there's any hiccups with it, wires and stuff like that. So we'll need to get with them for if you're having issues, and we need improvement on that. As far as a shop in general, yes, we have a 24/7 roadside assistance, a great shop that will take good care of you and help maintain, whether it be anything from an APU unit to, your fuel filter or brakes. Speaking of brakes, Brake Safety Week is coming up on the 25th through the 31st of August. So be well aware of that. Make sure, as always, but even more so, make sure that you are doing a thorough check on your brakes. If there's any damage that you see, please report it immediately to the maintenance department so that we can take care of that. First and foremost, safety issue. We want to make sure that you are safe out on the road. Our equipment is well maintained, but you are still responsible for doing your pre-trip and your post-trip and checking anything that might need to be repaired. So get with us so that we can take care of that right away and keep your safety at the foremost. And then, of course, with the brake safety, CVSA's Brake Safety Check Week. Brake Safety Week. Yeah. That is coming up on the 25th. They're starting on the 25th. And we'll have that in full swing, of course, as well. And they're going to be looking more at all areas of the brake system. So they'll continue to do inspections on the overall truck, but their focus really is on the brakes. So they're going to spend a little bit more time on that area as well. But brakes are, having any issues with your brakes can amount to some of the most dangerous accidents. And so that it's not something you want to take lightly. And that's what created the initiative to begin with, is the importance of not only keeping an eye on your speed, but having the ability to brake when need be, and protect not only yourself but others out on the road. So it's a whole commercial-wide initiative that they've got going on here, and it's an annual initiative. You guys, if you've been on the road for a few years, you've recognized that already. So that's this week, or this coming week. This week, you guys, we have the National Truck Championships in Indianapolis. Thomas is headed there. We have Todd Overson and Lyle Turville. Lyle is from Montana, and Todd Overson is from Iowa. And the two of them, both professional Decker drivers, will be competing for the sleeper berth competition. We've never had competing states, not the competing within Decker at the national level. So that'll be a lot of fun. But most of all, please send your support and encouragement to them, hoping they have a wonderful time there. I know in the past, Lyle's been there this is, I think, his 4th year that Lyle has been there. So I'm sure Wendy will be coming with and joining him to celebrate his work there at the National Truck Championships, and Todd as well. As far as I know, this is Todd's 1st year, I believe, here at the National Truck Championships, but not his 1st year for winning some awards. He was also our Driver of the Year, our Grand Champion, of course, recently. So a huge congrats, not this year, 2 years ago. So not a year ago, but 2 years ago, that I believe he won that title. Now I'm starting to get all my years mixed up on who won what. I think it was 21, right? Nah, gotta remember. So Tom was 22, the grand champion. This year was Darren, and I think it was right before that. Todd's gonna have to put me right. Dean, you would know. Dean's got the memory the best memory of us all. So, yeah, but please give them an opportunity to, or cheer them on. Take the opportunity to cheer them on for the National Truck Driving Championship. So that starts, I think, Friday. I can't remember. 21st. So it starts on Wednesday through Friday. That will be in Indianapolis. It'll be a lot of fun for them, I hope. A good opportunity to get to know each other, to visit, and then of course compete against some of the best drivers out there on the road. But of course, they already do. Part of our Decker family. So huge congratulations. Let's see. Give me 1 second. Nope. All right. So yes, I'll get with you on that one in just a sec, George, on that URL. What else can I tell you for the events happening this week? We did have, talking about some inspections and stuff like that. They'll have, at the National Truck Driving Championships, they'll have an inspection to do on the truck and trailer. They'll also be doing the written test, which is pretty in-depth. And then they'll have the obstacle course, which is, of course, the most fun thing to watch of all of it. So they'll get to enjoy that, and they'll get to see quite a bit of others competing in that, which will be a heck of an event to see. So quite impressive. Inspection wise, we paid out $600 this week on clean inspections. It's $50 for every clean inspection that comes through. We had 12 this week. Last week we had 13. We paid $650 last week. So you're seeing more and more inspections coming through, more and more clean, of course, as well. And so that's always encouraging. Speaking of encouraging and thinking safety wise, this week is you've received a notice, I'm sure, about the safety bonus and the scorecard bonus. Please make sure that you get with your driver manager to discuss get with your driver team leaders. It's going to be hard to get that in my head. Driver team leaders, those are our new, like I was saying, new structuring of supporting our drivers here. So the driver team leaders, make sure that you get with them and review your scorecard and your safety numbers. The reason I say that is we want to make sure that we're maximizing on those bonuses. If for some reason you are falling short of earning the full 5 cents a mile that you can between those two bonuses on all the miles that you've ran for the previous month, if you're not maximizing on that, find out what you can do in order to maximize on that. Of course, that would be a great start. So from there, they'll walk through the different criteria. With the safety, there's a number of criteria in using that Lytx system, and of course, following distance, lane departure, speed gauge, hard braking. Those are all things that can kind of not only trigger the event recorder, but it also can add up for 4 points against you too. So you want to make sure that you've got the lowest score. 0 being the lowest score, that is the best for as for the safety. As for the scorecard, we want the highest, which is 1,000.